In the last class, we have seen about the successive approximation type of analog to digital converter. In this class, we are going to discuss about the single slope analog to digital converter. Let us see the circuit for the single slope analog to digital converter. This is the circuit. So in this one, we are using the comparator, ramp generator, timing control, AND gate, and BCD or binary counter, latch, decoder or driver, and the 7-segment display. Okay, so this display is used to display the analog signal in the form of digital. Okay, so let us see the operation. It contains the ramp generator and BCD counter. First, reset signal provided to the ramp generator, and then the analog input applied to the positive terminal of the comparator. As the input is more positive, the comparator output will goes high. Output of the ramp generator applied to the input of the comparator. As the output of the ramp generator is connected to the input of the comparator, then the ramp goes the positive until it exceeds the input voltage. Okay, the ramp signal will increases until it exceeds the input voltage range. Therefore, when the ramp signal is greater than the input analog signal, then the comparator outputs will goes low. Therefore, the AND gate disables and the counting will stops. AND gate will disables and the count will be stopped because no clock signal will be propagated to the BCD counter. The control circuitry provides the latch which is used to latch the counter data, and this reset signal resets the counter and also resets the ramp generator. So this timing circuit will reset the counter as well as the latch the output to the decoder circuit. Thereafter, it will reset the ramp signal also. Okay, these three things will be done by the timing circuit. Let us see the operation once again using the diagram. Okay, so here initially analog signal is applied to the non-inverting terminal of our comparator, and inverting terminal has been given with the ramp generator voltage. Okay, ramp voltage, and the comparator output is the input for the AND gate as well as the timing and control circuit. Okay, the clock signal was given to the AND gate, so this AND gate will on whenever the comparator output is equal to 1 and the clock signal is equal to 1, so that the clock signal will be propagated to the BCD counter. So this binary or BCD counter will increases the count whenever it receives the clock signal, and this BCD output will be given to the latch which stores the binary signal, and then when the latch receives the activation signal, whatever the binary code stored in the latch will be propagated to the decoder. So this decoder will convert that signal according to the display device. Okay, and then the display will shows the result. Okay, so first when we apply the analog input signal via in, the ramp generator will start the ramp signal. So the ramp will increases linearly, and the ramp generator will start from the 0, right? So that the analog input voltage must be greater than the ramp generator input voltage. So as the comparator non-inverting terminal input voltage is greater than the inverting terminal input voltage, the comparator output is 1. So therefore the AND gate will activate and the clock signal will be propagated to here. So the binary counter will start the count for every clock signal. Every clock signal it will increases the count whenever the ramp signal voltage is greater than the analog input voltage. Okay, which means that the ramp signal is increased than the analog input voltage which need to be measured. Okay, which need to be converted into the digital, so that at that time the voltage of the ramp is greater than the analog input signal applied. Therefore, what happened? This negative voltage will be transferred to the output, which is nothing but the logic 0. Logic 0 will switch off the AND gate, and no clock signal will be transferred to the binary counter, so that the binary counter will stop the count at that time. And then this comparator output 0 will activate the timing and control unit. This timing and control unit will be resets the ramp generator and resets the binary counter too. Okay, same time it will resets the ramp generator as well as the binary counter, but this binary count is stored in latch. Okay, so this timing and control circuit will provide a signal to the latch. Whatever the binary signal present in the latch will be transferred to the decoder. This decoder will shows that binary signal on the display device. Therefore, this binary vote will be proportional to the analog input what we are applied at the input of the comparator. Okay, this is how the operation of the single slope ADC is going on. When we take one example, the slope of the wave. So on x-axis it is a milliseconds time and y-axis it is a voltage. When the slope is 1 volt per millisecond, if you take this is the ramp signal which has the slope of 1 volt per millisecond, then the input signal is 2 volts. If the input signal is 2 volts, therefore it takes 2 milliseconds to reach the 2 volts. Okay, the ramp output will reaches to the input voltage in 2 milliseconds because the input signal is 2 volts and the ramp is increasing 1 volt per millisecond. Okay, it takes 2 milliseconds to reach the 2 volts. The pulses generated to the counter are, how many pulses are generated are given as the 2 milliseconds into 1 by 1 megahertz, which is 2000 pulses. The 2000 pulses has been received by the counter and the binary counter used to display that value. Okay, therefore this 2000 count will be displayed in the binary counter display device. Okay, so like that the single slope ADC will work. Next we are going to see about the limitations of the single slope ADC. The limitations are given as the resolution is less, so it is not stable. The resolution is less, so it is not stable, and variation in the ramp generated due to time, temperature and input voltage sensitivity is also causes a lot of problem. The variation in the ramp generator due to time and temperature or input voltage sensitivity will causes the wrong results at the output. Okay, so the result may get vary. These are all the limitations of the single slope ADC. So that we are going for the dual slope ADC type. So in this dual slope ADC, indirect method of analog to digital conversion is used. Indirect method of analog to digital conversion. What is indirect method? First, the analog signal is converted into time or frequency. Analog signal is converted into the time or frequency, and then that time or frequency will be converted into the respective binary number. The reference voltage is converted into time period by an integrator and then measured by the counter. The speed of conversion is low, but the accuracy is high. Even though the dual slope ADC is very slow, but accuracy of the ADC is high. The ramp generator input switched between the Vi and the negative reference voltage minus V reference. There is a switch that will shift between analog input voltage and V reference voltage. So let us see the circuit for the dual slope analog to digital converter, which contains one electronic switch that will be operated by the flip-flop. Okay, flip-flop. So this switch is a single pole double throw switch, so which switches between the analog input and the reference voltage. Therefore this switch will be given to the integrator circuit, and then integrator output is given to the comparator, and the comparator output is given to the gate, so which is operated by the comparator output as well as the clock signal, and the gate or AND gate output will be given to the binary counter to control the binary counting, and then we are using output latch and digital output here. Okay, let us see the operation. When the MSB is equal to 0, the voltage being measured is connected to the ramp generator input. So initially, so the counter will start from 0 0 0 0, right? So that the MSB bit is 0. This 0 will be given to the flip flop, so that the flip flop will switches this switch S to this VI position, analog input position. Okay. When the MSB is logic 1, the negative reference voltage is connected to the ramp generator. So whenever the MSB is equal to 1, that 1 will be go to the flip flop and then switches the S position from here to minus V reference. Okay. So this is the slope. So until the MSB is reaching to the 1, the ramp generator or integrator output is a negative going signal which has the slope of Vi by R1 C1. Okay, the time taken to reach MSB is equal to 1 is T1, and thereafter the V reference voltage is connected to the input of the integrator, so that the integrator output is positive because it is a negative V reference voltage. Okay, therefore the integrator output is a positive. Therefore this output voltage will increases and then it reaches to the 0. So at what time it reaches to the 0, that is called T2. The time between this T1 to reaching of 0 volts is called as a T2 time, which has the slope of VR by R1 C1, because this slope is due to the reference voltage and this slope is due to the input voltage. Okay, at the time t is equal to 0, analog switch S is connected to the analog input voltage Vi, so that the analog input voltage integration begins. The output of the integrator is given as V0 of 1 is equal to minus 1 by R1 C1 integral 0 to t Vi dt. So which can be written as minus Vi by R1 C1 into t. So R1 C1 is a time constant and Vi is the input voltage, which is also a constant. At the end of 2 power n clock periods, MSB will goes to high, so that the output of the flip flop will goes high, which causes the S switch position from Vi to the minus VR. Therefore, the integrator output is a positive output because of the negative reference voltage. When the output reaches to the 0, the comparator output will go slow, which disables the AND gate and the counter will stops. The charge voltage equal to the discharge voltage, therefore which can be given as VIT1, the charging time. Okay, VIT1 divided by R1 C1, the slope is equal to the VR into T2 by R1 C1. Okay, therefore the both denominators are same, therefore R1 C1 will get cancelled. So Vi T1 is equal to VR T2. Our intention is to calculate the T2 time, therefore T2 can be written as Vi T1 by VR, and the digital output is equal to the counts per second into T2. The digital output is given as counts per second into T2. The digital output is equal to the counts by second into the T2 can be replaced as Vi T1 by VR. This is how dual slope ADC works. Let us see the operation one more time. So here initially the count will be 0, MSB will be 0. Because of MSB is equal to 0, the flip flop will switches the S position to V. Okay, so here it is, the switch is at analog input position. As we are assuming analog input is a positive, therefore which will be given to the inverted integrator. Therefore the integrator output is a negative voltage, which is a negative going ramp. Okay, and then the V0 output will be given to the comparator. So as it is the negative voltage, which is given to the inverting terminal. Okay, so here 0 volts is given to the comparator, so 0 is greater, therefore the voltage applied to the non-inverting terminal is greater, therefore the comparator output is equal to 1. Okay, 1. This 1 output will switch on the AND gate, and then the clock signal will be propagated to the binary counter. The count will be increases until the 2 power n clock pulses, the count will increases. After that the MSB bit will be becomes 1. This 1 will be propagated to the flip flop. Okay, this 1 will switches the position of switch from here to the V reference line. Therefore the V reference voltage will be the input voltage for the integrator. As the negative voltage is applied to the integrator, output of the integrator is a positive going ramp. This positive voltage applied to the comparator, which is given to the minus terminal, which is greater than the 0. Therefore output will be the 0 for the comparator. This 0 will disables the AND gate and the counter will stops the count. Okay, at that time whatever the binary bits that are present here, that will be propagated to the display device through the latch. It will show the counts here. When this work, whenever the comparator voltage output voltage is equal to 0, when this will be equal to 0, whenever the voltage applied to here inverting terminal is greater than 0. When it happens, because actually the comparator integrator output is a negative, right? Okay, so it has to reach the 0, then only it will work. Okay, the time taken by the slope from the negative voltage to the 0 will be the time required to measure the analog input signal, so that it was given as, so from this diagram we can say the integrator output, the integrator, so up to here the count is increasing, thereafter the integrator output is a positive, becomes positive in the sense it is starting from this negative voltage to positive voltage. Okay, so whenever it reaches to the 0 volts line, then only what happens, this dual slope ADC will stop the counts. The gate will disable, and the gate will be disabled and the binary count will stop. Then the output will be given to the display device. Okay, so this is how the dual slope ADC works. Let us see the advantages of the dual slope ADC. Very high and accurate, very high and accurate, and cost is low. It is immune to temperature caused variations in R1 and C1. So no changes will be occurred due to the temperature. Disadvantages: the speed of conversion is low. The speed of conversion is low, but what is the advantage here? So the accuracy is more in the dual slope ADC. Because of that only we are going to use this dual slope ADC wherever accuracy is more important than the conversion time. Next one we are going to see about the voltage to time converter ADC. Voltage to time converter ADC. This is the diagram for voltage to time converter. So here voltage to frequency converter is there. So input voltage will be converted into the frequency, and then we are going to use one monostable multivibrator, one counter and latch. Okay, so this monostable multivibrator output is given to the latch here, and then the counter will start the count based on the voltage to frequency converter output. Let us see the operation. The voltage to time conversion can be easily obtained by using voltage to frequency converter. Using the counter, the frequency can be converted into the time. By using that counter, the frequency can be converted into the time. A negative going pulse is used to trigger the monostable multivibrator starts the counting. After the time period of the monostable multivibrator output goes low, the counter output gets latched. Okay, the number of pulses which occurred during the specific time period are counted, and latched output is then displayed in the decade counter. The digital count calibrated gives the equivalent value corresponding to the analog input and hence can be used as A to D converter. Let us see the diagram. As the input voltage is greater, then V2F converter will give some more frequency. Based on that frequency, the counter will increases its count. Okay, so and then when we apply the negative going signal at the trigger of the monostable multivibrator, then it will enter into the stable state, which is the logic 1, and this logic 1 will be given to the latch, which does not do any operation after a certain time. So the monostable multivibrator quasi stable state ends, and then that 1 will becomes as 0. That logic 0 in the sense from the positive to negative going edge got generated. Okay, whenever the negative going edge is occurred, whatever the count that is present in the latch will be propagated to the display device, and then same time the counter will get resets when we apply the trigger pulse. The number of counts generated during the specific time or during the quasi-stable time period of the monostable multivibrator. Based on that, we are going to calculate the analog input voltage. Okay, based on that, we are converting the analog voltage into the digital binary code. So based on the monostable multivibrator time period, so that time period is a fixed one. Okay, in that specific time period, how many counts got generated, and these counts got generated due to the voltage to frequency converter. If the voltage is high, more number of counts will occur. Okay, if voltage is less number of counts will be done by the counter. Okay, like that we are converting the analog input voltage into the digital binary code by using voltage to time converter, analog to digital converter. Okay, this is how we are going to operate this. Let us see one more problem. For the particular dual slope analog to digital converter, TC is 83.3 milliseconds and the reference voltage is 100 millivolts. Then calculate the time T2. The T1 is given as 83.33 milliseconds and the T2 if VI is 100 millivolts and VI is 200 millivolts. Therefore, T2 time is equal to Vi by Vr into T1. We already derived in the equations. Okay. Therefore, T2 is equal to Vi. Input voltage is 100 millivolts divided by the Vr. The reference voltage is now I am taking it as 100 millivolts into the T1 is 83.33 millivolts. Okay. Therefore, the T2 is equal to 83.33 milliseconds. In the second case, the reference voltage is 200 millivolts. Therefore, Vi is equal to 200 millivolts and T2 is equal to 200 by 100 into 83.33, therefore which will be equal to 166.6 milliseconds. That is the T2 time. Okay, this is about the particular dual slope ADC problem. Okay, dual slope ADC problem. Next we are going to see about for a 3-bit weighted resistor DAC, they calculate the resistor value if the smallest resistor is 25 ohms. Okay, this is the last problem what we are going to discuss in the unit number 5. For a 3-bit weighted resistor DAC, then calculate the resistor value if the smallest resistor value is 25 ohms. So in a binary weighted resistor DAC, the resistor values are 2R, 4R, 16R like that. So we have to calculate the 3 resistance value which are 2R, 4R and 8R. Therefore, the solution if you see, the given 2R, the smallest resistor value is given as 25 ohms. Therefore, the R is equal to, which is half of that, which is 12.5 ohms. Therefore, the second resistor is value is 4R in a weighted resistor DAC. Therefore, 4 into 12.5 is 50 ohms and the third resistor value is 8R, 8 into 12.5 which is 100 ohms. So these are all the 3 values, one is 25, 50 and 100 ohms resistors. I hope you understood. This is the end of our unit number 5.